Thanks for tuning in to leftcoastnews.net, news and information from the wacky, sometimes communist, liberal West Coast of the United States. For more, visit leftcoastnews.net.
How would you like to be pulled over, or better yet, investigated by a law enforcement officer who isn't a citizen of this country? The Washington lunatics that call themselves the Democratic Party are currently passing a bill that would allow just that. SB 5068 would allow quote unquote lawful permanent residents and DACA arrivals, basically illegals, to be police officers, even if they aren't allowed to carry a gun. What exactly is a police officer going to do if they can't carry a gun? They would also be able to work as deputy prosecutors, so non-citizens charging you, potentially taking away your rights. This is the same group of moron Democrats who also suggested allowing people who couldn't speak English to be police officers. Can you imagine being pulled over by a foreign national who doesn't speak English? This state, this left coast, has completely gone off the rails. They are going against what the majority or Americans have voted against. I truly believe if there is a civil war in this country, it's going to start right here on the left coast. The people running Washington, Oregon, and California have completely lost their minds. Non-citizens should not be able to hold positions of law enforcement or prosecution against American citizens. This is common sense. Why are you ignoring current gun laws to allow people who aren't allowed to have a gun to have one? Because this bill literally tells the Criminal Justice Training Center that they cannot deny or revoke officer certifications of a person who cannot legally own or possess a firearm under federal law due to their immigration status. And at the same time, they are trying to pass legislation to take away gun rights from people who are legally allowed to have them. Who do these politicians work for? The people or the foreign nationals? The other major problem I see with this is the background process for police officers. I worked a background investigator for law enforcement. I also worked a police officer for a number of years. I was a defense investigator as well for a number of years. A proper police background check is very complicated. These checks will not be able to be properly done on people from foreign countries. It will be extremely difficult or impossible to get records, verify information, or follow up with references. It's funny because these libtards are the ones crying about law enforcement and how bad they are, and now they're saying they want to hire people that can't be properly vetted, people that won't really know anything about, people who come from cultures where law enforcement is something completely different from what we have here, and that doesn't mean better or nicer. You're just opening up a huge can of worms. How long before they start saying that illegals should be able to hold these jobs? They won't be satisfied until they have removed American culture from America and made this into a third world country. We are on a fast track to get there, especially in these blue states and West Coast. Some states are already allowing this. I'm sure most of these won't come as any surprise to you. California, Connecticut, Colorado, Illinois, Massachusetts, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, and surprisingly, Texas. Once again, you have politicians who have zero law enforcement experience, probably have zero experience outside, being a worthless politician making decisions about things they know absolutely knowing about. And these are important decisions that affect all of us and the safety of our communities. I urge you to reach out to not just your representatives, but also the ones who wrote this bill and urge them to not pursue it. Write to the governor and urge him not to sign this terrible piece of legislation into law if it gets to his desk. This is a report from Center Square on this bill and its recent movement. A bill moving through the Washington State Legislature would allow lawful permanent residents and foreign nationals who are recipients of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, program to be able to enforce state law as police officers and press charges as deputy prosecutors, a move one critic says would enable non-citizens to take away the rights of U.S. citizens. We're talking about a police officer's ability to take away your rights under certain situations, Rep. Jenny Graham, R. Spokane, said prior to a Thursday vote in the House Community Safety Committee. These would be individuals that are not U.S. citizens that have the ability now to take away the rights of a U.S. citizen. Under federal immigration law, foreign nationals who obtain green cards are able to live as permanent residents, own property, and join the U.S. Armed Forces. The initial DACA program was established in 2012. In 2021, a federal court ruling found the program unlawful and blocked new applications. Though current DACA recipients' protections and renewals were maintained, DACA recipients, while protected from deportation and eligible for work authorization, do not have lawful immigration status and are not considered U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents. Senate Bill 5068 would enable foreigners authorized to work in the U.S. and DACA recipients to apply for and be hired as law enforcement officers, including with the Department of Fish and Wildlife and non-elected positions such as deputy prosecutors. The bill cleared the state Senate with a unanimous vote and was voted out of the House Community Safety Committee with some revisions that include protecting law enforcement agencies from employment discrimination, claims if the applicant is rejected based on the determination that the hiring them would be impractical. Additionally, the revised bill prohibits the Criminal Justice Training Commission from denying or revoking officer certifications of a person who cannot legally own or possess a firearm under federal law due to their immigration status. Committee Chair Roger Goodman, D. Kenmore, told colleagues that the intent is to widen the pool of possible recruits to include not only those who are lawful permanent residents or green card holders and DACA recipients, but a wider universe of those who are legally authorized to be in the United States. It could be that some of these recruits who are lawfully allowed to be in the United States are nevertheless prohibited from carrying weapons under federal law, he added. So the amendment provides that does not prevent them from being trained and certified and employed by law enforcement agency. However, Rep. Brian Burnett, R. Wenatchee, opposed the bill based on concerns over the ability for these officers to carry firearms off duty and or across state lines, saying it would not be legal for them to do so. We do not want to set these people up for failure or criminal charges. I think that we have a commitment to protect our citizens, but also the agencies that these people would be working for. Have you had enough of this insanity yet? Your rights are being stripped. Gun rights, parental rights, freedom of speech. Laws we voted for are being gutted. Your taxes are being raised at every level in every place they can think of. And now they're going to police you with foreign nationals. This is insanity.
Thanks for listening to Left Coast News. For more, visit leftcoastnews.net. Please subscribe, like, and share to your social media. We appreciate your support.